It's off to another episode of Happy Hour Japan We Go.
That's Aaron.
And this is Kevin.
Kampai.
Kampai.
Not so much foam this time.
Yeah. Exactly.
So in today's episode, we're going to take a suggestion we got from Ari, who wanted us to do something about traveling to Japan.
Yeah, so we'll do a little travel today.
I think it's probably going to have to get broken up because there's a lot of stuff that we want to talk about.
Travel really encompasses tons of topics.
Absolutely.
As you're aware, but we'll cover a few today and a few in separate episodes.
So say you had $2,000 right now, I was going to hand it to you, where would you go?
To the bank. Deposit in my bank account. That's where it would go. No, seriously, $2,000 is more than enough to go to Japan. I personally want to go to Hokkaido and Okinawa because I've never been to those two places.
What about places that you've been that you
places
can recommend?
That I've been that I can. Well, I spend a lot of time in Tochigi-ken, and while it's kind of out in the Inaka, there are some really cool things to see out there, especially if you go a little further north. There are lots of beautiful onsen, so relaxing, amazing food, cool sights, nice old castles. It's great. Yeah. So that's what I would recommend. Yeah.
So Aaron was talking about onsen, and that's hot springs in Japanese, or Japanese style hot springs. It's quite a bit different than the hot springs you might encounter here.
The one big thing that I had trouble with originally, my first trip to Japan when I went to an onsen was that contrary to how we do things here in the United States, you get naked and it's a communal bath. Don't avoid it because you're afraid of getting naked. Seriously, just don't worry about it.
It's completely, benign. It's not like people stare at Aaron because he's white. He's Caucasian, but it's not like they're looking.
Especially in Tochigi.
But I mean, it's kind of, the onsen's it's a great experience, and I recommend anyone who goes to Japan to try it out because every single person that I know that's gone to an onsen and gotten over that fear absolutely loves it and goes back.
It's probably one of the most relaxing experiences you'll have in your entire life. I mean,
and because of that kind of that fear factor, I think a lot of foreigners avoid the hot springs, and so it's a completely Japanese experience. Yeah, completely. So, definitely. If you're completely just against the idea of getting completely naked, or that just scares you to death, there are other options. There are a few like onsen out in the city. I've actually been to one where it's kind of girls and guys are in the same place, and so it's
good to me.
So you wear your bathing suit. So that's a lot of fun, and it's a great opportunity to kind of get some exposure to what it's like without actually having to jump all the way. They're a little harder to find, but they do exist if you look around.
Yeah. Something that goes along with that and just general travel in Japan that we wanted to touch on is tattoos. And there's kind of a stigma against tattoos in Japan because people that have tattoos and are Japanese are thought to be associated traditionally with Yakuza, so the Japanese mafia, basically, or mob.
It's definitely changing.
It's more common now.
A lot more of the younger generation have tattoos now, but
still,
it's
a
lingering,
stigma there.
Absolutely, it's a lingering stigma from the past. And so, if you look carefully, actually, if they see that you have a tattoo at an onsen, 99% of the time they will not let you in. Yeah. Same with pools. And so what you have to do, you see a lot of people in Japan who have tattoos, or foreigners, Westerners who have tattoos, they'll have them covered up with bandages, or
they'll put their towel over it if it's small enough to hide. Yeah.
But it's definitely something to keep in mind. I know a lot of friends of mine who didn't know the rule blatantly came in with their tattoos showing, and they were turned around. Yeah. Which sucks.
Yeah. So what else is there related to travel?
Well, I don't think you can get around travel in Japan without talking about trains, because that's like the main mode of transportation over there. Right. And I would highly recommend that if you are going to go there for more than a week and you plan to just do a ton of traveling, I would recommend getting a rail pass because it lets you ride the bullet train, the local JR trains at least, as much as you want. Yeah.
So something related to travel that's a relatively recent and awesome development is that they have conglomerated a bunch of different train systems onto a couple different cards. So you can buy one of these cards and travel around different trains. Kevin has one of these cards, right?
Yeah, I actually do.
Yeah, I mean, the names are like Suica. What else is there?
There's Suica, there's Ikoka. There is...
Ikoka. Nice.
So the slogan for that is Ikoka de Ikoka. So it's a Japanese
How clever, yeah.
Anyway. And then we have Suica, we have Pasmo, which is the new one in Tokyo. Mm-hmm. There's also smaller ones like Pitapa, which is for the Hankyu line. Mm-hmm. But the ones I actually have two of them. I got a Pasmo card. Mm-hmm. These are actually IC cards. Here's a Pasmo card.
And you can pick these up just at the normal ticket vending area. So you'll probably see a machine that vends these separately. Some of them vend both normal tickets and these things together.
Yeah. So what you do is essentially you get one of these, you charge them at one of these ticket stands, and then you just keep it in your wallet or a card, and as you pass by, there's a place where you can just, you
beep it from the outside.
You beep it from the outside and you just walk through. So it makes much quicker. You never have a paper ticket to worry about losing anymore.
Which is nice, yeah.
And it's just a really convenient way because, like Aaron said, now with definitely with Ikoka in the Osaka area or Pasmo in the Tokyo area, you can ride all the subways, JR, any train that you would essentially run into in your travels around town with one card. So you just recharge it once and use it everywhere.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think you can actually...
Plus you feel kind of cool.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, you look
feel
like you're
local.
from there or something. Yeah. Actually, some of these companies have teamed up with cell phone providers too. So if you get a rental cell phone, there might be the possibility for you to charge up your phone with the Metro Pass time or tickets or whatever. So that when you go past the ticket booth, you beep your phone instead of the card.
Right. Aaron was mentioning how, you don't have to spend a lot of money to stay and travel to Japan. I think it's not as expensive as people think it is.
Probably on par with Europe, maybe even less than some major metropolitan.
If you do it right. The real thing to keep in mind is what level of hotel you want to stay at. I mean, you got your regular hotels, then you got something called business hotels, which are great for penny pitching. The rooms are extremely small. It'll feel very claustrophobic, but you're getting a huge benefit in cost savings. You can save a lot of money by staying at a business hotel. All it is a room with a bed, small TV, and a small, they call it a unit bath. And a unit bath.
I went into one of these unit baths my last trip, and it was like, I felt like I was in Willy Wonka land or something. I mean, it was so small. I had never seen a bathroom this small in my entire life. I mean, I'm about 6'3". I'm a pretty decent sized guy, and number one, I had to step up to go into the bathroom, but then the ceiling came down too. So I had to stand like this to fit into the bathroom. And it was tiny. And then the toilet and the bathtub were in there, and probably a space about this big.
Right.
It's tiny.
The apartment that I lived in when I was staying in Japan, had a unit bath. Mm-hmm. And what sucked for me was...
You're pretty tall too.
Yeah, well, I'm not as tall as Aaron, so I can empathize here. But there was the shower head, right? The shower head holder was about, mouth level. Uh-huh. And then my mirror ended right at my eye. Uh-huh. So in order to see myself, to brush my teeth and do my hair and wash my face, I had to hunch over like this. And when I took a shower, I had to do this thing. Yeah. And by the time I came back after a year, I was a little hunchback. And I realized, I was like, wait, why am I so hunched over? Yeah. I'm like, well, it's because I'm always like hunchback like every day. Yeah. I have a feeling that this episode was just like completely random and all over the place, but I think it just emphasizes how much there is to talk about travel. We're just like bursting at the seams to tell you about all the things we want to talk about. Yeah. Maybe you found this a little disorganized, but we'll continue to add more information if you're interested to learn more about our travel stories or tips on where to go and things like that. So leave us a comment if you have any questions or comments, and otherwise we'll see you next time on Happy Hour Japan.
Kanpai.